All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Geno J, and I'm here with Brendan. And in today's video, we're going to break down our last deal that we did together. I got a few questions I'm going to be asking him on how it went, and he's just going to give you some insight and just talk about the deal and how we put it together. So the deal that we just put together, it actually came in from my website. It was an internet lead.
Yep.
And the lady was motivated to sell it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we always talk about is, especially from an internet lead, is we have to be fast to the punch, meaning that as soon as the lead is created, we have to try to reach the lead.
Yeah,
so the lead came to me, I sent it to you. So tell me a little bit about the deal and about the process.
Yeah, so the lead came in. Like always, we try to be first to the deal. So as soon as I got the contact, I gave her a phone call. Just went through the pre-qualifying questions, seeing her motivation, price, timeline, the condition of the property. Once I got all the main things, what I did was I set an appointment to go see it ASAP. I knew she was looking to sell quick. She wanted cash for it. She didn't want to put it on the market. So I went out there and saw her. I built rapport. I was able to build a connection with her. When I saw her at the property was in great condition. So I knew she could put it on market, but I also knew she had some motivation to sell it extremely quick. So I knew we had something going for us. We got back to the office, crunched some numbers, and we pretty much submitted an offer. But I would say the most important thing was just, speed to the deal and building that connection up, with her.
Okay, so we saw the deal, we liked the deal, and we put the offer in immediately. What did she say once she put the offer in?
So what she said was she actually had a lot of other investors coming to see the property. So that's why it was super important to be the first one to go see it. We were first and we built good rapport, so that kind of helped us set a good foundation. And once we submitted the offer, she kind of had it for a few days. She said, hey, well, it's kind of low. I wanted 175, but she was thinking about taking the 170. So she told me she had a few other cash buyers coming to look at the property. I would say she had at least 7 to 8 people, go and see the property. So she told me she was going to think about it. She had to talk with her husband and her sister, and she would get back to me. So that's pretty much what she said when we first submitted the offer.
Okay, so from the time you submitted the offer, from the time that she actually accepted the offer or considered accepting the offer, how long did that period take?
It took about, I would say, a week and a half to 2 weeks, and I had to keep following up. So that's why following up is super important. We were first to the deal, got an offer in, but she was still looking at other options. So I always knew we had to keep on following up and staying on it. I spoke to her at least, within those 2 weeks, I spoke to her at least 5 or 6 different times, trying to put urgency on the deal. Letting her know that we are looking at other properties and we need to make a decision pretty quick. So I talked to her about 5 or 6 times within that 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. That's all real good information, because it does, when you have multiple people making offers on properties, a lot of times it is the person that builds the best rapport. Yep. And it takes more than 2-3 phone calls. Sometimes it's 5-6 phone calls. Sometimes it's several text messages. But you can set yourself apart by being, not overly aggressive, but showing that you're serious about getting the property done.
100%.
So once she signed the offer, what we did was we did a home inspection.
Yep.
And it's important to do home inspections if you have the opportunity to. You may not always have the opportunity to. Sometimes you're dealing with wholesalers, sometimes you're dealing with MLS properties, and they want quick due diligence. But when you can do a home inspection, it's always good. And definitely doing with private sellers.
Yeah.
Because the home inspection, even though the property appeared to be in good shape, and it was, the home inspection, it was a visual report that identified the roof need to be changed, it identified some other stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes what it does is the seller can look at it and say, wow, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know needs to be done.
Yeah, honestly.
So we were able to go back and get a price reduction. So tell us about that process and how that worked.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I really didn't think that we would get the price reduction, because when I first met her, she wanted 175. She wanted more. She thought 175 was low. So I was like, wow, we have to get at 170, and it's going to be 170 or it's not going to work. So once we gave her the report, I think she had some time to think about it. What we did was we sent the email of the full inspection report. So she had time to look at the entire report, talk it over with the husband and her sister. And what she told me was she saw it was some issues. She even mentioned the inspector told her that the property wasn't in too bad of condition, but it did have some issues, with the roof and everything. So once she saw that visual, it had like 60 pages on it. So she's thinking, wow, my property needs a lot of work, when it really didn't need too much. But it helped her kind of visualize it. And we used that to our advantage. One of her main concerns was having a quick deal where she didn't have to deal with a lot of people coming in and stuff like that. So once she saw that we were serious, she saw the report, we went in and offered 152. So we went from 170 to 152. And I just knew she was gonna say no. I got other cash buyers, but I had that rapport, so built up well with her that she trusted me. She trusted my word. She didn't feel like I was getting over on her. I walked her through the inspection report. I said, hey, we're interested in the property. We really want it, but based on the report, we have to come down on that price just a little bit. And once I gave her the offer, she talked it over, with her husband and sister. She called me back in the same day and agreed to drop it down to 155, I believe.
Yeah, 155, we got it at. And, through the whole process, me and him communicated.
Yep.
And I've done this a lot, so I was kind of like, do this, do that, and like everything that we talked about, work. It don't always work out like that.
Yep.
But as a seller, and I'm even like this too, even though a seller may have one property or multiple properties, sometimes, each property may have its own motivation to sell it. So they did have a motivation to get out of the property. Yep. And in their mind, they're like, okay, now that we know that there are issues or more stuff that we realize need to be fixed, they realize that other buyers can potentially do those same inspections. Yep. And come back to the same number. So by building a rapport, being honest with people, being upfront, we were able to get the price reduction, which after we saw the report, we kind of needed the price reduction to make the numbers work. Yep. We want to be fair with all parties, but we also don't want to be buying properties where, we're putting $40,000, $50,000 in to break even or potentially make a small loss. Yep. So that kind of sums up the deal. I think being quick, just to reiterate, being quick to contact the people, going out there seeing the properties, being the first people to kind of put an offer on the property, and then just having follow-up. Your follow-up is going to be key. The calling, the texting, just trying to reach the people so that they show that you're serious. Is all going to be key to getting deals, especially in the competitive market. It does help that you're a realtor, of course, because they have a recognizable company they can trust, because people are calling OfferPad and Zillow and everybody else trying to get offers. So by being a realtor, that can help. If you're not a realtor, you can do like a credibility sheet where when you put the offer, you have your company. If you have a website, any of that stuff that can show any type of credibility where people can research you helps. So if people can Google you and find you on the internet, that helps. Yep. So I think overall, it was a good learning process, and it's definitely, strategy that we're going to keep using moving forward. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and liked the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave any questions and comments below. Until next time, this is Geno J, or a special guest, Brendan, and just kind of break down deals to you and hope you guys learn something. See you guys later. Peace.